Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. It's good to see you all today. Just a second. Drop that down over there. Sorry about that. Anyhow, you guys have had a good weekend and able to get back into the swing of things today. We definitely had an interesting one here at Papa Joe House. That was kind of interesting, is the good way to put it. So, anyways, listen, thank you guys and gals for being here today. Do me a favor, if you are new to the channel, subscribe, grab the bell. I would love to have you guys and gals know every time I go live. I do a couple times a week. And then check out all the links in the description of the video. I do have various different things in there, and I'm going to be adding a few other things that some of you have asked for. Some of you, I think, might find interesting as well. So yeah, we'll kind of go from there with that. So check those out. Don't skimp over those. Just in general, on every YouTube show that you watch, there are always links and fun little nuggets and things like that in the description of the videos, for the most part. So always check them out. It's definitely worth a look. So today we're going to look at Bitcoin being running a little bit up from its approximately 16.3, 16.5, looking like it's 17.3 now. And then I'm going to point some things out with that. But before we get into that part, well, we'll touch that right off the bat a little bit, but I'm also going to cover some stuff with the Digital Currency Group, or DCG, Silvergate, and then on the back end, I'm going to touch on something that's really kind of started to notice in general across the crypto media, we'll call it. Not they really are starting to irk me the wrong way, if you will. And it's irritating just to watch a few of these a few of them run and do these things. So anyways, thanks for being here. Does mean a lot to me. Check out those links. And if you're part of Patreon this afternoon, we're going to have an interesting show, I believe. So yeah, y'all check that out for sure. All right, so let's jump right in, shall we? We've got Bitcoin blows past $17,000. It could be a big week for crypto. Maybe. And I'll get on the back end of this. I'll tell y'all why. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Bitcoin is up to 2.25 almost at the time of the writing of this particular article. And other cryptocurrencies were rising Monday. Crypto traders continue to anticipate a significant move after a stringent start to 2023. And this week holds a catalyst that could usher in volatility. It is what it is, but something to pay attention to. The price of Bitcoin has jumped 2% over the last 24 hours to, well, it's more than that now. It's 17.3. Let's go over here. 17.32. So pretty interesting stuff there. Largest digital asset surged above the 16.5 to 17,000 trading range that has dominated much of the past month, which is very true. Bitcoin was buoyed by its correlation to the stock market. Unfortunately, it is true. The Dow is up, the S&P 500 is up, the Nasdaq is up, but the thing is that it's not up that much. It isn't, which is really interesting to me. Comparably, as I told y'all, the regular day traders, they're trading the stock market, they're trading the crypto market, and they're at their desk, they're trading both of them. It doesn't move much over the weekends anymore because they're trading like that. Now, we get into a really big run with Bitcoin, it's not going to stop. It's just not going to stop until it stops, basically, if that makes any sense. Anyhow, so yeah. So what happened with Bitcoin? Why is it rising? Well, we'll get into that in a minute. But before we do that, let's jump into some interesting news, I think. Digital Currency Group, under investigation by U.S. authorities, U.S. authorities, or the SEC, are reportedly investigating internal transfers from DCG to its subsidiary Genesis. Crypto conglomerate Digital Currency Group, or DCG, is under investigation by the United States Department of Justice. Interesting. So DOJ, Eastern District of New York, and the SEC According to a Bloomberg report. The authorities are digging into internal transactions or transfers between DCG and its subsidiary lending firm, Genesis Global Capital. So GGC. That's a mouthful, huh? Anyways, according to the report, which cited people familiar with the matter, prosecutors have already requested interviews and documents from both companies, while the SEC is running a similar early stage inquiry. As of yet, no indictment has been brought against DCG, nor its U.S. agency provided any information about the case, nor has either U.S. agencies provided any information about the case. A spokesperson for DCG said the company is unaware of an investigation. I guess that was whatever. That's interesting. DCG is a strong culture of integrity, or has a strong culture of integrity, and has always conducted its business lawfully. We have no knowledge or reason to believe that there is any Eastern District of New York investigation into DCG. So DCG is saying there's no investigation, but DOJ and SEC are saying we're investigating. That's really, really interesting. What's going on here, people? Is it FUD? Someone trying to slap mud against the wall, hoping it sticks, kind of thing? Maybe trying to article somewhere, trying to get the attention of the DOJ and the SEC? Genesis, as you all know, is one of the companies affected by the contagious wave following the collapse of FTX in November. Everything is touched by FTX. And we're going to get into Silvergate here in just a minute. The reason we're talking about Silvergate, I talked about it, I think, last week. I don't know if I did or not. Silvergate is an interesting connection. Y'all do some research into Silvergate. Definitely facilitating some things there. Anyways, Genesis halted withdrawals on November 16th due to liquidity issues and has engaged with investment bank Moelis and Company, I think that's how you say that, to assist in restructuring. In other words, bankruptcy. Genesis owes $900 million to Gemini. We covered that last week. Genesis is at the center of this. FTX is the center of some of this. But at the center of, I think, all of them is Silvergate. Not that Silvergate's causing the problem, but the plumbing is leaking. We'll put it that way. They operated by a product called Gemini Earn, which allows crypto investors to earn 8% interest on their crypto loans. Not bad. Gemini claims that DCG failed to repay Genesis, which is true, it didn't, leading to the failure of payments to Gemini's clients, which that happens. So it's a domino effect. And this is what the people are wanting to do. Here's the thing. What goes around comes around. Y'all remember me talking about one of the big boys in the banking sectors that has to do with a specific color of a rock. And maybe it's subsidiary, something connected to that rock, right? It's a dark rock, put it that way. You'll get what I'm saying. Read between the lines. There was a loan of bitcoins from Gemini. At least this is what the rumor is. Y'all do your research. We'll call this satire. We'll call this comedy for the sake of it, right? Y'all do your research in this. Anyways, there was a loan of 100,000 Bitcoin that dropped in the market. Well, that affected Luna, which liquidated all of its holdings, and then down came all of that mess. Now we have this, it's a continuous domino fall after that. You'll see what's happening. Someone somewhere said, I know how to make this happen. Dump something on the market. Force the liquidation of all these things. And everybody who's connected to them will go bye-bye. You got 3 Arrows Capital, Genesis. Now Gemini is what goes around comes around. Gemini is not getting paid back. It's $900 million. I don't know. I don't know if they thought that through or not. Anyways, among the other DCG subsidiaries are Grayscale Investments. It's a very interesting connection, y'all. One of the biggest ETFs or hedge funds for Bitcoin, y'all need to pay attention here. Media outlet CoinDesk. Yep. Crypto exchange Luno and Bitcoin mining company Foundry. Definitely some things that are touching this particular thing that are not a little. Cointelegraph reported that most of Grayscale's trust funds are trading at a discount. The Ethereum Classic Trust trading at a at the deepest discount of 77% on January 4th, followed by Litecoin Trust and are at 65% and Bitcoin Cash Trust at 57%. It's really, really screwing with some stuff, you know what I mean? So this is why all of this, and everything that happened last week with Genesis and the court ruling in favor of Genesis keeping its clients' funds in a bankruptcy proceeding, because in the terms of use they stated, in the case of bankruptcy, all client funds on deposit become the property of Genesis. That's in most of the exchanges. I wouldn't doubt it's in all of them. Y'all understand? Please keep your coins off of the exchanges. If you're going to put them on there to do something, great. Pull them back off when you're done. This is not financial advice. This is not legal or tax advice. Y'all do your research. There are specific type of custodians who actually just hold your coins. We talk about Viva Capital all the time on the show. They've done it right. Real custodian. Real regulation around the third party holding the coins, etc., etc. Understand, exchanges that are like this, they're using your cryptos to pay other people. They're lending your cryptos to create revenue for lending products or yield on your staking or your whatever lending to them. Some of the things, like I was looking at, I think it was KuCoin the other day, and they have a lending product where you would get like almost 300% return on lending your USDT. I'm like, where's the 300%? Where's it? So you put $1,000 in there. Where's the other coming from? You taking it from someone else? Who are you lending it to? Where's it coming? You probably won't get that back. That's insane. All right. I can see smaller amounts making sense because there needs to be lending, blah, 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 right? So, but DeFi makes more sense, y'all. DeFi makes more sense. So Silvergate, they're now going to be cutting 40% of its workforce. 40% of its workforce. Is this the end of the crypto bank? It might be. They made some mistakes, misstepped. They got involved with different people who used their facilitation to make their end goal happen. They were definitely involved with FTX. Definitely involved. I don't want to say who all they're involved with, but it's public knowledge that they're involved with FTX. Yeah. Now, we talked about this particular article last week. This has increased from now. Cryptocurrency bank Silvergate has lost 86 or 68%. There's my dyslexia coming out. Of its digital deposits. So people are withdrawing their deposits. Here's what to know about the predicament, that particular predicament. This was last week. I talked about this. I think it was this particular article. Snapshot. They did cover this. The bank had $3.8 billion in digital ad deposits as of December 31st, down 68% from $11.9 billion as of September 30th. Okay, so they've lost a significant drawdown, right? And now they're cutting 40% of their workforce. The bank provided a preliminary update on fourth quarter earnings. It wasn't good. Crypto bank Silvergate Capital followed up a recent short squeeze with a preliminary update in its fourth quarter earnings results that sent the stock in the exchange deposit direction plummeting to near all-time lows. Silvergate announced significant deposit outflows in the quarter, big charges from selling bonds, and that it plans to lay off 40% of its workforce. That's a lot of people, guys and gals, like a lot. I don't know how many people work for Silvergate, but 40% of your workforce is a significant number, no matter what it is. With the crypto market currently experiencing an intense crypto winter, and the bank's outlook bleak, is it the end of Silvergate? We'll see. Intense deposit outflows. This is again kind of covering that a little bit, but they are also a fiat as well. So Silvergate Capital is a bank regulated by Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, but it's quite different from your traditional lender. Silvergate built a payments network called Silvergate Exchange Network, or SEN, that enables two parties on the platform to transact US dollars in real time. Silvergate doesn't hold any cryptocurrencies on its balance sheet, but the Silvergate Exchange Network is helpful for crypto traders and exchanges because the US banking system doesn't operate in real time and cryptocurrencies trade around the clock. So they kind of made a product that makes sense for those types of facilitations. FTX used this. A lot of other companies have used this, and now they're pulling their crypto out, and they're pulling their deposits, their cash, their fiat out. What happens to a bank when it doesn't have money? It's not a bank anymore. It goes away. All of this is tied to these different dominoes that keep falling. So if we're going to allow crypto exchanges and industrial crypto traders to use the SEN for free, because these parties would bring large sums of non-interest bearing deposits to the bank. Big amounts, billions. Okay. This served as essentially a free source of funding for Silvergate, funding Silvergate could deploy into bonds or loans and make money on the spread. You'll see how they did that, right? But as crypto plunged in 2022, liquidity began to dry up. Digital asset related deposits began to funnel out of the bank. Then FTX, which has been a big client of the SEN, pretty much all crypto exchanges use that platform. Kind of see where I'm going with this, guys and gals. Filed for bankruptcy and turned the sector on its head. Not only did the FTX meltdown spread contagion through the industry, resulting in many other bankruptcies among clients using the SEN, but it also really led crypto participants to pull back. Yep. It's going to continue to cause problems, and I hate it for the guys and gals at Silvergate. It's not like, honestly, it's not like they did something wrong. It's more that I can see right now. I mean, don't quote me on that, but it's almost like they created this thing that is actually a good thing for the market overall, for crypto and fiat to kind of work together, like if you will. But at the end of the day, if a nefarious actor comes in, and utilizes this thing for evil, we'll put it that way, for bad things, for people that just horrible people to do really bad things. I mean, they're using the rails of something that was meant for good for evil, and then it's destroying the thing. It's like they're using it and destroying it, and they don't care. It is. It's horrible. Silvergate maintains an extremely liquid balance sheet, not taking a lot of credit exposure, but mostly investing in government-backed bonds. And then you have that problem. The problem is most bonds are underwater due to soaring interest rates, and Silvergate had to convert many of its bonds to cash in order to convert deposit outflows, which forced the bank to sell bonds at a big loss. So it's literally someone seems to be trying to destroy this particular thing because what they were doing wasn't a bad thing. They just really, 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 I think the wrong people started using it, and bye-bye Silvergate kind of thing. We'll see if they survive. We'll see. Hopefully they will, because like I said, the SEN is not a bad product. It does facilitate things that is needed. They are a regulated bank that also allows or holds crypto from a custodianship standpoint. People have just withdrawn their money and they've withdrawn their crypto, and they're self-custodying. It is what it is. The problem comes in is that they are having to lose money at a loss because they're taking those large sums of money and investing them to make money off of them, and then they're having to unwind them. And it really stinks, guys. You know, and, but at the end of the day, they're involved with these different players. DCG, I'm pretty sure uses them as well. Pretty much all crypto exchanges and firms use them. Not all, but they do. And then I'm pretty sure this outflow of currency is significantly decreased, unless they've halted with clients' funds withdrawals just to remain solvent. That is something that they could do, but then you have lawsuits and all kinds of things that come after at that point. We'll see what happens. Here's another thing I kind of wanted to bring up, right? You got all this stuff going on and these different connections, and I don't know what thread Silvergate's going to play in this yet, but I'm bringing it up just so y'all keep an eye on it, okay? I'm keeping an eye on it. You got Bitcoin running today. We'll see how far that goes, and here's why. And this is something that really irritates me tremendously, okay? Every crypto news outlet, every mainstream, every Cointelegraph will do a thing in this. CoinDesk will do stuff on this. They'll talk about this. They'll talk about the CPI numbers and how it affects crypto. Why does it affect crypto? Why is it allowed? Why have we, the people in crypto, allowed Bitcoin and crypto to tie to the major indexes, right? It's because we've allowed centralized exchanges. Decentralized exchanges will remove that. It will break that chain. So will DeFi. It will break that chain. Okay? At some point, people will realize that it is not a good thing, and that stupid stuff like CPI numbers coming Thursday, what to expect. So here's my 2 cents. My 2 cents. I'll kind of get into this in a second. My 2 cents is everyone's trying to treat crypto like the new stock market, and they're trying to say this is going to influence it, that's going to change it, this is going to do this. It's stupid. It's a decentralized platform. Go look at the on-chain data. It's a very different market when you look at the on-chain data. The consumer price index, excluding food and energy, core CPI numbers will be released to the United States government on Thursday, January 12th. Great. This is frustrating to me because this is what they're trying to pull this here. Although most recent months saw a decline in the inflation rates compared to the peaks of summer 2022, the estimates still show a painful picture. Here are the expectations. Upcoming CPI numbers will play a crucial role in the United States Federal Reserve decision on whether to continue its current monetary policy and raising interest rates. Given how 2022 went, the increase to 4.5% within a year, it would be wise to assume that more hikes are coming. This is supported by general estimates that CPI numbers for December will be. According to the Cleveland Fed, the month-over-month for December would clock in at, I guess, a positive 5% or 0.5%, so 0.5%, while the year-over-year will go above 6%. Bloomberg quoted more modest data, etc., 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 right? Here's what kind of gets me frustrated. Bitcoin has had a favorable start to 2023, gaining almost $1,000 in just over a week. True. This resulted in an asset breaking above $17,000 for the first time in a month. Given its history with major U.S. announcements, here we go, including the CPI numbers, though it's safe to assume Bitcoin could face a volatile end of the working week. In fact, there are some analysts predicting that Bitcoin could head toward $20,000 on better than expected CPI numbers, especially if the US stock market pumps as well. But only if the stock market pumps. You see, they're trying to make you realize that there are connections, that there are no connections. They're not connected in any way. And that's what I think people are starting to forget. This is not the stock market. This is in and of itself an entirely separate sector. And they're trying to manipulate it and trying to manipulate your brains to think that this is connected, and it actually is when it isn't. You go do decentralized exchange, when we move off of these centralized exchanges with Bitcoin and crypto, which is coming, it's inevitable because the majority of us don't want this connection. It needs to be understood that these news outlets are not, they're doing a disservice to the crypto market. They're correlating it with all this crap. It has nothing to do with that because it is built into the code to half itself, which we're coming up to the year prior to that. And historically speaking, every year prior to that, we have a major run up in crypto. And it is time for that now. That's what's causing this. They're trying to tell you it's the CPI numbers and blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with that. In my personal opinion, it has nothing to do with that. So let's take a look at the charts here. Bitcoin, obviously, like we've been talking, is up. But so is the Dow. So is the NASDAQ, and so is the S&P 500. Even gold is up. Silver is struggling. Divi went down and is running again, trying to. You got Ethereum broke $1,300. Fantastic. You got Matic also running. Matic is something y'all don't need to sleep on. Just saying, do your research. It went and ran. You really think it's not going to run back up there way above that? If you haven't been paying attention to Matic, which is Polygon, they've made some serious connections in real world application of what they're building. Other platforms like Ethereum, like Cardano, like EOS, who are supposed to be Ethereum killers, they're not doing this. You need to pay attention to them. Axie is an interesting one to pay attention to just from it's a game in the metaverse that, well, it is a residual income. Divi is doing some pretty cool stuff with Seed Worlds too. I'm working on getting myself set up with that. So, pay attention to these, didn't mean to click on that one. What's the Dixie at? The Dixie's down, which is probably also why Bitcoin is up. When that goes down, the Dixie or when the Dixie goes down, Bitcoin runs, and vice versa. What are the mortgage rates? Well, tick back up. Who would have guessed? I don't think they're really coming back down. I think they're going to really kind of get back up there. That's one heck of a spike, guys. That is one heck of a spike. Anyways, we're going to have a Patreon show this afternoon, 4:30. Tune in for that if you want to hear a different perspective on things that are going on in the world. Because those of you who are part of that know I like to take the gloves off. I have to have conversations about stuff, and I'm working on adding a few squirrels in there. We'll put it that way. From those of you know I enjoy cooking, love coffee, all kinds of stuff. I need to get some video stuff set up so I can do that kind of stuff. So just pepper it in there. We'll still talk about this stuff, take the gloves off, that kind of thing, but I'll pepper some fun stuff in there too. So throw in the chat what you're drinking. This is a nice blend. It's a honey processed coffee. Really enjoying it. Can't really taste the honey until it's cooled a little bit, which is kind of neat. You get different flavors while it's hot, and then as it cools, you get different flavors, and it's really just kind of fun, enjoyable. Though, if you are watching live, do me a favor and pop in the chat. Say, hey, I'm going to run through and say hey to everyone as well. What's going on, Bitcoin Bull? Hope you're doing really, really well. Yeah, McCarthy is now Speaker of the House, and we're definitely watching close what he's going to do. Trump endorsed him. Let's see what happens. Y'all know that people are pawns, things are different. I don't know what I think. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, but who knows what he's doing, right? Evan, what's going on? Crypto price bump, Bitcoin over the counter dipping into reserves. They are, which is also something to pay attention to. Very, very good call at Evan. Thank you. Trace Mayer was right about yearly proof of keys. Yeah, yeah, very much so. Trace Mayer is not a bad dude to pay to. You need to definitely pay attention to him. He's one of the pioneers, if you will, in the crypto world. Definitely a good guy. Haven't met him yet. Want to meet him. Just haven't had the opportunity. What's going on, Tom? Good morning, brother. It's good to see you. You as well, Gloria. How are you? Thanks for being part of the show, as always. Good morning, Kim. How are you? Thanks for being here today. It is a great, great day. Daddy-O, fantastic, dude. I'm glad you made it to the live stream. Thanks for being here. Daddy-O's an awesome dude. Thanks, buddy, for being here, part of the show. Really do appreciate it. Good morning, Lithia. How are you? Thanks for being here today. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. Sharon, you made it. Glad you watched it live. It is fantastic. Thanks for being here. It does mean a lot to me. Need to catch up with you soon. And we've got Clint Westwood in the house. What's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man. So, Clint, I'm gonna reach out to you. I already reached out to Light Queen Lisa. I think Friday show we might have. I'm definitely gonna have Lisa on. And if Clint, if you want to join, maybe we can pop on and just have a good time. We're gonna do that around 12:30 Eastern. So check it out. Stay tuned for the Friday show. It's gonna be a fun one. So let's see, Clint, reach out to me if you want to jump in. And then I'll set it up for everyone. Let's see here. We've got Steven in the house. What's up, brother? Thanks for being part of the show. Thanks for being here. Who else is in here today? Johnny Holder. What's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man. Love it that you're here. And guys and gals, thanks for tuning in live. If you didn't catch it live, we go live every day at 12:30 Eastern, right about there. Sometimes it's a little bit after. Just depends on what's going on prior to it. So, anyways, don't forget to check out the Patreon. It's listed in the description of the video. A lot of you are part of that, and it does mean a lot to me. Does support the channel, and it does help it out. And then if you have any questions about anything crypto related, I do have a company where I do the consultations, one-on-one or face-to-face, whatever, depending on where you're at. Check it out. Grab some time with me, and we'll work through it. Any questions, your comments, concerns, any technical stuff you need, just let me know. We'll talk to you later, and you'll have a blessed, beautiful day.